Welcome to the Vinyl Record Podcast.
Record.
Vinyl Record.
Record.
Yeah. We just call it like it is.
Yeah.
And this is episode number 1. We don't know how many episodes are going to be, in this series because, it all depends on you guys that are listening. I should say this is a spin-off of the Film Photography Podcast.
Yes, the FPP.
The long-running FPP, now in its 6th year. We're not going to tell you anything about us this episode. We'll tell you about us later.
We're just going to continue our interest in all things analog.
Yes, all things analog. John Fedele brought in many records today that he's going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for support and to try to motivate and inspire folks listening to, if you're a middle-aged man or woman, to go
Young kids do this too.
I know. Go into your garage because all of my friends that are my age, they're all like,
"Yeah, I have my turntable. Yeah, I have my records."
Well, okay, let's get them out.
Exactly. Are you using them?
My friend Tom did it.
Yep. You pulled them out.
I pulled them out, and then younger people are fascinated by the medium of vinyl, and they are purchasing turntables, and many people already have the tuner.
Yep. Yeah, but a lot of the new tuners don't have phono amps in them, so you have to buy a separate amp. That's what I had to do.
Oh, because you have to ground it.
Yeah.
As a ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're going to, talk about all sorts of stuff, analog, vinyl, and hopefully someday soon we'll have some experts bring in people.
Yeah.
And of course, if anyone out there knows anything about processing plants, the places where you're all into the plants of like the little etch codes.
Yeah. The Matrix.
The Matrix. Right now, you can reach us anytime at our FPP email address, which is podcast@filmphotographyproject.com.
Hiya.
Just, in the thing there, put like records.
REKERDS.
Yeah. It's been well over a year now. I have to confess to everyone listening that I am embarrassed how I dropped my records and embraced the CD.
Yeah.
We went nuts for CD. John as well.
Oh, yeah, ridiculous.
Nuts.
Well, it was just convenient. We moved into small apartments.
Running over to the CD den.
Oh my God, running out with like 10 CDs at once.
Yeah.
Just going insane.
I'm completely disinterested in CDs now. And I have very little interest in MP3 media, except for I'm not like a crazy person. Like I like it for the car.
Yes.
When I buy a new album and it has a download code in it, that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you record your records into your computer?
No, the records that I've been purchasing, most of it is American jazz, like mid-1950s to early 1960s, and I really just enjoy spending time at home at night listening to those records.
See, that's the thing about the listening experience with a record and the listening experience with a CD. I mean, when we grew up, it was an event. You'd go and buy a record, and then you would take this huge black platter, throw it on the record player, and then digest with your eyes every part of the folder.
You'd have listening party.
Listening parties, yeah. You do what you need to do to get in the mood to listen to a record.
Right.
Then you listen to a record, you read the lyrics, you pour over the artwork.
Right.
And it's big, it's in your hand, it's as big as life, it's easy to look at and, fun to listen to the music and go,
oh, wow, where was this photo taken? Yeah, this music really suits the photo.
The lyrics are really trippy. It was a whole experience. It's a listening experience. It's not something you did casually. Now you throw in a CD, you write checks, you eat dinner, you talk, it's background music. But the thing I like about LPs is it's you're actively participating in doing something.
Yes.
You're not just, in one ear and out the other. So.
And when you, John has young children, when you are at home playing your platters,
they're fascinated.
Does everyone sit quietly and listen, or is everyone like crazy running around?
No, they like to dance.
Oh, they like to dance.
Yeah, I'll put on some Talking Heads or some Adrian Belew or some crazy King Crimson, 80s King Crimson. They love to go crazy to that stuff. But then they like to mellow out too. For school, my kids have to read 15 minutes a night, so I'll put on some Cat Stevens.
Oh, very nice.
Or a nice Jim Croce record I just got, Greatest Hits. They love that.
That's great.
So setting the mood with LPs.
Well, very nice.
Yeah.
So tell us about your pile. John brought in a pile of records.
Well, you're the one who started this. You got me back into LPs.
I did? How did I do that?
Yes, you did, because you were into LPs. And I'm like, dag, burn it, I'm getting into LPs. So I started going crazy.
Well, I started collecting, looking for music that wasn't available on digital, like the kind of obscure stuff like Scott Walker. Mm-hmm. Some of those early, some of his LPs were never authorized.
Scott 1 and 2?
Those are on digital.
Those are on CDs.
But in between his Scott 1, 2, 3, 4, then there's another album. But after those albums, he recorded a lot of LPs of other people's compositions.
Oh, really?
And they were never issued on CD. So I just started,
Interesting. Because you wanted to hear them.
Yeah, so I
got into vinyl.
So I went to the eBay and I bought them.
Were they dear?
Things have been going up in price. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago they were a little bit cheaper. Now things are going up since everyone's catching the wave. Mm-hmm. And I started out with a little Crossley, which many people be like,
Not a junkie.
you know what?
They get the job done.
They're fine.
They're fine.
For starter,
Junkie.
Starter,
Yes.
I think they're okay. You can also jack them into your hi-fi.
Oh.
It has there's a
Yeah.
phono. There's a
phono out or
on
a
the
speaker
back.
out.
No, there's a RCA left and right
audio out
on the back of most of them.
So you can plug it into your receiver and boom.
It sounds okay. It has its problems, I will admit. I've taken a different path than John regarding a professional turntable. I revisited in the 1980s and purchased used gear from our good friend in the Pompton Lakes.
Yeah.
Flipside.
Flipside Records.
Flipside Records.
Been there since when?
Dan.
I've
been there since the 80s.
80s.
And he took it over from somebody else.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Place is a real museum.
Yes, it
of
is.
Records. But he's got stereo speakers and receivers and turntables.
That's
all
where I
over
get
the place.
And they come in all the time, and they're very reasonable. And he checks them out. He's got a little workbench there.
Oh, nice.
You'll find that different retailers have strengths and weaknesses. So
most record stores sell newer things.
yeah, he has his new lot, but his new shelf, but not. He doesn't carry as many new things as, let's say, the Music Merchant in Westwood, which you have not visited.
No, or Scotty's. Scotty's in Scotch Plains, is it? Summit. They're in Summit. Scotty's in Summit.
So I bought a vintage, and you opted for brand new. What is the thing called?
A Repa.
There, Repa.
Yeah, a Riga RP1,
and it's ching.
Yeah, it was entry level, high end, 500.
Ooh.
That was a big birthday present last year for my wife.
Entry level, 1980s, $50.
Yeah.
Plus needle.
Yeah. Well, there's an upgrade for the turntable I bought for another 200 with a carbon fiber needle. You could get crazy with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I like the way it sounds just fine.
What's wrong with the vintage 1980s Techniques?
I don't know.
Did you ever have one?
Yeah, I used to have them. I used to have a Radio Shack suitcase.
Oh, get
black plastic one that you could carry around with you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Battery powered?
You bring it upstairs, you bring it downstairs. No, you had to plug it in.
Oh.
But it would close like a suitcase. It had a handle.
Did you bring it to beer parties and keg parties?
No, this was when I was much younger.
Okay.
They hadn't even invented the juice box.
Did you have children's records when you were a child?
Yes.
You did?
Disney records. Read-along records. We had Looney Tune records.
Okay.
The most rock and roll we were allowed to get was the Cowsills.
Okay.
That was it. They have a small but fond place in my heart, the Cowsills.
And who broke your parents regarding bringing in new music? Your sister?
Kate.
She brought in
sister
Bowie
Kate.
and all this
She brought
crazy.
in Bowie, the Sex Pistols, Mott the Hoople, the Ramones.
Did she used to fight with your mom?
Oh my God!
This?
Yeah.
What is
My
this?
father would constantly yelling at her to turn it down.
Turn that down. Turn it down.
Plus Cheech and Chong record.
Who had those? Your brother?
My sister.
Your sister?
She was the older one, yeah. My brother would get Kansas, Rush, all the prog stuff, Bad Company, all the guy stuff. My sister was into, the Sex Symbols, and before that it was the Carpenters, though.
Okay, that's
and
acceptable.
Then something changed. It went from Carpenters, Hurricane Smith, I remember she had that, then Elton John, then all of a sudden Bowie hit, and it was over. And that brings me to the first record.
Very good. What do you got?
Bowie-related album that my sister had that I loved, and I completely forgot about it. It's Mick Ronson's Play Don't Worry. I don't know who did the art direction. It's a gatefold album, which is real nice. It's got all the lyrics in it. It's on Main Man Records. Just to show you the sheer joy when I saw this, mostly we buy records at Record Show in Wayne, New Jersey here. And I might suggest that if you're looking to start your collection and do it cheaply, record shows are the way to go. eBay can get quite expensive, and then you have to tag $4 on for shipping.
And you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, I've had to return albums. I'm sure you've had to. You know, because I'm into getting really nice records. No scratches, no scuffs,
no dings, no fried chicken fingerprints.
No, none of that stuff. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this record. And that's what digging through crates can do. All of a sudden, you find something that you remembered from your childhood, and you're like, oh my God.
Now, your sister had that?
Yes, because Mick Ronson was, of course, in the Spiders from Mars and Bowie era. What was that? 73, 72?
How many albums does he have?
His most famous one is Slaughter on 10th Avenue.
Okay.
But he has 3 or 4 others. And this one, I only have it. I should have Slaughter on 10th Avenue. I don't. I haven't come across it. But the reason I have this one is because I remember my sister listening to this. And I remember coming home from school and putting it on myself.
Oh.
Because I liked it so much.
Now, does Bowie have his hand in the pie on that one?
No, but you know what? Mick Ronson can sometimes sound a lot like Bowie.
Oh.
He has a little bit of a nasally
He's on Main Man
vocal
RCA,
reference.
So clearly there was a,
So Bowie helped him out.
Hey, Bowie, can you help me out, please?
Did you know he does a version of White Light, White Heat, the Lou Reed song on here, which is great. But you know the song Girl Can't Help It?
No.
The girl can't help it, the girl can't help it.
It's kind of like a 50s song. A lot of people do it, cover.
Yeah.
You know who wrote it?
No.
Bobby Troop.
Get out.
Yes. So there's a cover of Bobby Troop song on here, The Girl Can't Help It.
For all you emergency fans out there.
And he was married to?
Julie London.
Julie London, who's another one of our affections.
Married to Julie London after Julie London was married to?
Oh, I don't know.
Jack Webb.
No way. Wow.
Yep.
All right, next up is this beautiful copy of the soundtrack to the 1960s film The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. And it's Catherine Deneuve's first movie, and it is quite a distinctive movie in that it is one of the only movies that I know of where every bit of dialogue is sung. Everything. Even when the postman delivers a letter, he's like, bonjour, bonjour, here is your mail, ma'am, thank you. Everything is sung throughout
You've seen
the
the
whole
film?
movie. I've seen. It's one of my favorite films ever.
Looks like it's very well lit.
It is very well lit. The costume design for the movie is and set design is crazy. Sometimes the dresses that the girls are wearing match the wallpaper. The carpeting kind of matches, umbrellas. It's very crazy. But
this is a beautiful gatefold.
It's a mono
with a booklet inside.
A mono recording. It's got a nice connoisseur collection from Philips here, a nice little medallion. And inside there is a booklet that has some of the songs that are on here. Of course, they couldn't put the whole movie on here because
it's too much singing.
Too much singing. The whole movie is singing. So there are specific scenes that help tell the story, and the dialogue is told in English and French, or written in English and French.
Very nice. What is the title again?
The Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
Very good.
And a great, great movie, if you ever get the chance to see it.
By the way, you mentioned record shows, and record shows, like I noticed this one in Maryland. I think every state has one. You just have to look it up on the internets. Just like look up record show, and you'll be amazed. Like they're usually at hotels.
Mm-hmm. There's lots around here.
The one here in Wayne, New Jersey, at the fire station.
No, there's one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We see there's an app for your phone if you have an iPhone. I don't know if it's on Android, but it's called the Vinyl District.
Oh.
And that gives you record show. It gives you record shows in England and Europe. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty tied into the whole LP scene. Next is another goodie, Venus and Mars by the Wings.
Nice.
And the reason I like this album, this is another I found this for $5. Really great shape. The gatefold cover is in awesome shape. Nice, big, weird picture of Wings inside, where it looks like they're walking on Mars, I guess. It was taken out in the desert. But the good thing about this, certainly not all the music, just some clunkers. Rock Show's good song. Magneto and Titanium Man is on here. Listen to what the man said.
Spirits of ancient Egypt.
You don't know that one?
No. What kind of junk do you get in it?
You get 2 posters.
Whoa.
And these posters are pristine.
That's a really nice poster.
It is. It's a cool poster, but that's not all. There's another poster of the band and their hijinks.
I was going to say, clearly that one was not photographed by Linda Eastman, in Wings and photographer.
I don't know.
Because she's in the shot.
Set up the shot, and somebody else pulled the trigger.
Whoa. Amazing.
So that's that. So you get not 1 poster, 2 posters,
plus
and 2
hickeys.
2 stickers. One like rectangular one and one circular one. And that's Paul McCartney. I think the album that came out after this was the live album.
Okay.
Wings Across America. And that came with a cool poster.
Yeah.
It was like a drawing of them on stage.
They gave away a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, Paul McCartney was like really good with the
giveaways.
giveaway stuff.
He wanted to give back after breaking up the Beatles.
Is that right?
The other thing that I have here is one of my favorite bands from the 80s, The Jam.
The Jam.
And I found this record, Sound Effects. Their records are hard to find first print, and they're usually pretty expensive. This one I had to pay $20 for. But the thing about The Jam is their inside covers are always pretty good. Record covers on the inside. Usually have the lyrics on it, some nice thematic shots. That's Sound Effects.
Mm-hmm.
I like the cover. It looks like you even said when I was picking it up, you're like, you're buying a Sound Effects record?
It looks like a Sound Effects record.
That's the whole idea, yeah. And this is from Setting Suns, which is a really good album.
Okay.
I think it was their last album before they broke up. I may be wrong, but it comes with a nice inner sleeve with the lyrics.
Oh, look at that. It's got a nice...
A little bulldog on there,
on it.
sitting on the Thames River. And then this one where they're all frumpy, all the mod cons. And again, another lyric sheet.
It's got a schematic in case you want,
Yep.
your scooter. You want to fix
Well,
your
you
scooter.
know the mods, Quadrophenia, the mods.
Oh,
and
yes.
who are the other guys?
Quadrophenia.
Yeah, the mods and the rockers.
Yeah.
So this album is about mods.
Okay, great.
It's mods who are not mods. Oh, this has a rip in it.
Gosh
I
darn
didn't
it.
notice that. But the Jams records are pretty collectible, and they're hard to come by. Like I said, usually...
Who's the main Jam guy?
Paul Weller.
Okay. And this is, you're talking early 80s.
Oh, yeah, late 70s, 78, 79. Let's see, Mod Cons was 79. I think In the City was 78. So
Okay.
late 80s, around the same time as Joy Division,
Right.
all that stuff. Those guys, their records are highly collectible and pretty expensive. Next one is a band I tried to get Mike into.
That's me. I'm Mike.
A band called Nectar. I just recently got turned on to these guys. I had no idea they even existed. Really into prog. I love Tull. I love Yes. I love Genesis. Gentle Giant. All these bands. And this band I just recently got turned on to.
Nectar.
And their stuff is really good. It's not Genesis level stuff, but they're really good musicians. The songs are great. They flow. This was their famous album.
Whoa.
The most popular album, I should say. Remember the Future. 74, 75?
These bands are big on the gatefold, eh?
Yeah, well, Nectar's first, I don't have their first record or their second record, but
Okay.
all the other records that came before and after this are all gatefolds. A Tab in the Ocean,
Can I see the cover?
another really good album, and that came out after Remember the Future. And apparently, for anybody who lives in New Jersey, Mo, bass player, lives in Chester. I think he owns a plumbing company. He's no longer with the band. They still tour, dragging their asses around Europe and America. This was kind of a concept album. Remember the Future is a concept album. It's about a kid who, I think he's a paralyzed kid, who befriends a alien hummingbird or bluebird. And then the album after that, Down to Earth, was more of a carnival theme.
Right.
Again, gatefold, really good songs, great song. Then after that was Recycled,
Whoa.
really psychedelic. They started to pare down their sound, trying to get some radio play, but really great art design here. Here's the whole cover.
Oh, look at that.
Really great art design, gatefold. I mean, they were on Passport Records, and they gave them carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. And then this record is the one I found at the record
look
show.
at that.
It boasts a very young Brooke Shields. From what I understand, it's Brooke Shields.
May I see the cover?
Sure. That's a painting, but the picture,
Certainly looks like Brooke Shields.
yeah, look at the picture.
So so in those albums of Nectar, where does this fit? Early?
This is late.
Oh, late.
This is they made one more record after this with the classic lineup
Okay.
in 80, and that was it.
That was it. Done.
Yeah, then they were done. Done. Another pretty cool record that I didn't know. I had this record. A
Oh,
touch
yeah.
of Schmilson in the Night, but I had the Best Buy series,
Had a
Super
sticker.
Saver.
Had like a sticker. Actually, not a sticker. It was actually imprinted.
Yes. Said here. Let me take it out of here. It's the Super Saver series. Super Scary Saver series.
Yeah, it was a cheapo reissue.
Right. So this is a gatefold. I didn't know this was a gatefold.
This is not the Super Saver.
No, this is the deluxe original first press.
Oh.
And on the back, they have
Oh,
little
my
cartoons
God.
about all the songs. Anybody familiar with this album will tell you that it's an album of old standards that Harry Nilsson did with a
Was
with
that
the
back the
orchestra.
same on the Best Buy?
No, not at all. And it's a gatefold.
Oh, look at that.
On the lyric, or on the LP cover, inner sleeve, whatever you call it, there's writing on it. One says, yeah, yeah, yeah. The other one says, please investigate Buckminster Fuller's Instant Slum Clearance Project for Harlem. Contact Design Science Institute, 3700 Massachusetts Ave, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20006.
But you don't know if that sleeve actually came with that album.
This came with this album. This is, if you've enjoyed this album, please buy Derek Taylor's new book as time goes by.
Okay, yeah, Derek Taylor. Okay,
So
Derek
he
Taylor
did
he wrote the liner notes for this.
I don't know what he did.
He was a publicist for the Nilsson. We're talking about
I
Harry
guess.
Nilsson, of course.
Harry Nilsson,
American songwriter, awesome guy.
Singer-songwriter,
There's a
yeah.
documentary out.
Famous drunk.
Yes, there's a documentary out that's fantastic.
But I thought it was interesting because I've never seen any commercials written on the LP sleeves before. Derek Taylor is looking to get, I guess, his pet project some
Yes.
extra
And
funds. by
from the
doing that.
documentary I watched, the record company wasn't too excited about this album.
It's really great.
But you're talking mid 1970s. This
Yes.
was long before artists now.
Right.
Artists
73.
now are, very famous for.
Everybody's doing it. Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Chris Botti. The gatefold is awesome, and it shows you all the players who played in the orchestra, which I think is a very nice thing to do.
So the cheapo one, you'd be giving that to me?
I guess so, yeah, if you want it.
Yeah, those were the reissues. They were in the cheap bin of Bradley's and other.
The Super Saver series is generally like third or fourth pressings where they
Yeah.
say, let's just throw these out. We'll put them in very limited packaging.
Cheapo.
Cheap sleeves.
Put them in Two Guys department store.
I have another one of Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It's not a gatefold. Both records are shoved into a single sleeve.
Oh,
So they sold them, off price.
right.
So I don't even know what LPs were. Say they were $10.99 new. These would sell for, $8.99, $7.99.
No, well, let's go back. In the early 1980s, LPs were about $4.49 a piece.
What?
In 1980, 81,
Ridiculous.
by 1982, 83, they went up $1.
They're like $28 now.
So
$22.
in the 70s, I'm guessing they were $3.98 or $2.98.
God. Well, most of the stickers are the $3, $4.
If anybody out there has, reminiscing about either yourself or your father or your grandfather of what LPs cost when you bought them new at Two Guys,
Or Corvettes.
Corvettes. I bought albums from Corvettes. These are East Coast U.S.
Harmony Hut. That's where I shopped. Sam Goody's.
And of course, there was Record Town on the second floor of the Willowbrook Mall, right next to
Upstairs.
the organ dealer.
Yeah.
Not human organs, like a Wurlitzer place. What do you call that? A Hammond organ.
Hammond
place.
organ.
Yeah.
Hammond organ.
And then downstairs was a Sam Goody's.
Harmony Hut, I thought it was.
In Willowbrook, there could have been 3.
That probably were.
Yeah.
It was big business back
Big
then.
business.
Yeah, there was a Sam Goody's in off of Hamburg Turnpike in Wayne. What was that mall? Remember that mall?
Yes, it's still there. The mall is still there.
Meyer Brothers was there.
Right now, there's a Stearns in there. Or was a Stearns in there.
Right.
And the Burlington Coat Factory's in there.
Yes, that's the
called
mall.
the Preakness Mall.
Is it the Preakness Mall?
Yes. It's in Wayne, New Jersey, the Preakness Mall. And the Sam Goody was open till just a few years ago.
Was it really?
Yes.
Wow.
So you used to go there as a kid, like take
Used to
your
go there. I
bicycle or
remember-
something?
No, my parents would take us there.
Drop you
'Cause
off.
They would go do whatever they wanted to do, and we would just go into Sam Goody's. I distinctively remember, like, one of my musical moments there, decisive musical moments, was I was standing there. It was 1980. Duke had come out by Genesis.
Yes.
And I was kind of a Genesis fan. I didn't really know too much about the band. And Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. And I only had enough money to buy one of them.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Chucky DeBruin was like, buy Heaven and Hell. Get Heaven and Hell. Get Sabbath. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm really digging the way this Genesis record looks. And I bought that record.
Really?
It changed my life, musically speaking, because then I really got into Genesis.
Wow.
Delved into all their stuff. And then they became a crappy band, unfortunately.
If you folks have a story, first of all, if you folks are actually still listening, that means maybe you'd like us to continue doing this. We need to hear from you, and just send an email to our FPP address, which is podcast@filmphotographyproject.com.
Humana.
Let us know your experiences with vinyl records. Or are you thinking about getting into it? Have you been buying? Did you know that? Oh yeah, back in the '60s you could buy Frank Sinatra for $3.98 at Corvettes.
That's crazy.
Or what were the stores in your area where you live? So just
do you still buy them?
Do you?
Speaking of still buying, I have a new record.
Oh, let's see.
This is my favorite new record right now because I'm also, we're buying new vinyl as well.
Oh, look, Robert Pollard.
Robert Pollard.
And this is a new artist.
No. He's been around for years. He's the main man behind Guided by Voices.
So you're saying this is a new album? This is a
new album. Just came out.
Where did you buy that?
In June. I got this. A friend of mine gave it to me, actually. Someone I know is works with Robert Pollard.
Okay, very nice.
And he gave me this record, which is awesome. If you're a Guided by Voices fan, it's so hard to keep up with them. Funnily enough, on the front cover, there's a sticker that says, first album in over 3 months.
That's pretty funny.
Because this guy literally puts out 2-3 records a year.
Does he really?
2-3 records a year, and sometimes he has put out 4.
And what label is this on?
It's his own record label. Guided by Voices, main man, genius, poet laureate Robert Pollard.
Would I like
new
that?
album, Faulty Superheroes. Would you like it? Probably not.
Oh.
Because it's rock and roll.
Okay. Yeah, I've been listening to Molly Drake.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 12 songs on this album. Some Guided by Voices albums have been known to have 20 or 30 songs on them.
Very nice.
1 to 2 minute long bits. But these are a little bit more thought out. They're really good. It sounds so great on vinyl. And there's a digital download, so no reason not to get it. And my surprise record was when we went in to go see your friend at Flipside.
Yes.
I was digging through the $5 bin, and I found this Procol Harum album called Home. I never heard of it. It's not that popular of an album from their canon, but it came right after A Salty Dog, which is a great album. And I think it's the last album with Robin Trower on it, and it's really good. Like every Procol Harum album, I think there's like 3 or 4 really awesome songs, a couple of and this is typical to that formula.
Wow.
And Robin Trower wrote 2 songs on here, I think. Keith Reed was the lyricist for the band, but Gary Booker wrote all of the music, but Robin Trower wrote music for 2 of the songs here. Okay. And they're good songs.
And it got a gatefold?
And it's gatefold, yeah.
Big gatefold in the 70s, huh?
Yeah, that's when they were selling lots of records and they could do all this stuff.
Very nice.
But it came with the nice color insert.
Oh, yes, advertising their
records.
Years past, they would advertise other LPs available on the label.
Claudine Longet, Liza Minnelli,
I get that.
Burt Bacharach.
That's all we have for today.
Yeah, just a quick, intro.
Well, it actually wasn't that quick.
Well,
it's not as quick as we thought it would be.
A long in the tooth intro.
But if you'd like us to continue with this Vinyl Wreck-It podcast, we do need to hear from you to see if anyone cares to hear us talk about vinyl records.
And if anybody knows a lot about a certain type of record or
the process
plant, where the plants are, any
gossip,
of that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
About people falling in the vat of vinyl.
Yeah, maybe we're playing human skin.
Yeah,
here.
You just let us know. podcast@filmphotographyproject.com, and we're gonna go spin some records and go have some Lee sushi.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see you next time.